Some decisions reveal who a person truly is. But one decision made in ancient Babylon puzzled a king, stunned an empire, and echoed through history. An old man faced a simple choice: stop praying or face the lions, and he chose prayer. Why would anyone choose faith over survival? This is the mystery of the lion's den. The kingdom of Babylon had fallen, and a new ruler now governed the vast empire. His name was Darius the Mede, a powerful king responsible for lands that stretched across deserts, mountains, and cities filled with many nations and languages. To manage such a massive empire, he appointed many officials to rule the provinces and keep order throughout the kingdom. Yet among all these administrators, one man quietly stood apart from the rest. He was Daniel. Daniel was no young court official chasing power or prestige. He was an elderly exile from Judah who had served faithfully under kings for many years, surviving wars, political upheaval, and the rise and fall of empires. But what truly set Daniel apart was not his intelligence or experience. It was his character. Daniel was known for his integrity. He could not be bribed, he could not be manipulated, and he could not be corrupted. Because of this rare honesty and wisdom, King Darius trusted Daniel deeply and soon began considering him for the highest administrative position in the entire kingdom. But success has a way of stirring something dangerous in the hearts of others. They call it envy. The other officials watched Daniel carefully. They examined his work. They studied his decisions. They searched for mistakes, corruption, or anything that might discredit him before the king. But the more they investigated Daniel, the more frustrated they became. They could find nothing, no scandal, no dishonesty, no weakness. Finally, the officials realized something troubling. If they wanted to destroy Daniel, they would not find the opportunity in his work. They would have to find it in his fate. So they gathered together and formed a plan that was as clever as it was cruel. They approached the king with exaggerated respect and flattery. "O King Darius, live forever," they declared. Then they proposed a new royal decree designed to strengthen loyalty across the kingdom. For 30 days, they suggested no one in the empire should pray to any god or request help from any person except the king himself. Anyone who disobeyed this decree would face immediate punishment. They would be thrown into the lion's den. King Darius, unaware of the trap hidden inside their proposal, agreed to the decree and sealed it according to the unchangeable law of the Medes and Persians. The officials left the palace satisfied. The trap had been set. Now only one question remained: what would Daniel do? Daniel soon heard about the decree. He understood the law clearly. He understood the danger even more clearly. If he prayed to God, he would be arrested and thrown into a den filled with hungry lions. But Daniel also had a habit that had shaped his life for decades. 3 times every day, he prayed. He prayed in the morning, he prayed at midday, and he prayed again in the evening. This habit had sustained him through exile, through political turmoil, and through the long years of serving foreign kings. So when Daniel returned home that day, he did something that may appear simple but was actually very profound. He opened his window, he knelt down, he prayed. He did not hide, he did not panic, he did not change his devotion simply because the law had changed. The officials had expected this very moment. They had been watching. And as soon as Daniel began to pray, they rushed back to the palace with their accusation. "Daniel has broken your decree," they told the king. When King Darius heard the news, he immediately realized what had happened. He had been manipulated. Daniel had been the target all along. The king was deeply distressed. All day he searched desperately for some legal way to rescue Daniel from the punishment that his own decree demanded. But the law of the Medes and Persians could not be changed. And as evening approached, the sentence had to be carried out. Daniel was brought to the lion's den. The pit was deep, dark, and filled with powerful lions whose roars echoed against the stone walls. King Darius looked at Daniel with sorrow. Then the king spoke words filled with hope. "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." Daniel was lowered slowly into the darkness. The lions moved in the shadows. A heavy stone was rolled across the entrance to seal the pit, and the king sealed the stone with his royal signet ring. That night, the palace was silent. King Darius could not sleep. Music brought him no comfort. Food had no appeal. He spent the entire night worrying about the faithful servant he had been unable to save. At the first light of dawn, the king hurried to the lion's den. His voice trembled as he called down into the darkness, "Daniel, servant of the living God. Has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" For a moment, there was only silence. Then a calm voice answered from inside the pit, "O king, live forever." Daniel continued, "My God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me." King Darius was overwhelmed with relief and joy. Daniel was immediately lifted out of the den. When the guards examined him carefully, they discovered something astonishing. Not a single wound, not a scratch, not even a mark. Daniel had survived the night because he had trusted completely in his God. The king then issued a new decree across the empire. People of every nation and language were commanded to respect the God of Daniel, because this God was alive, and his power had been revealed before the entire kingdom. Daniel did not know how the story would end when he knelt down to pray. He only knew what was right. Sometimes faith means choosing obedience even when the outcome is uncertain. Sometimes faith means trusting God when fear whispers louder than courage. Daniel chose prayer over survival, and history still remembers that decision. Because the greatest strength is not found in power, wealth, or position. It is found in a quiet, unshakable faith that refuses to bow to fear.